I'll open the meeting of the Traffic Commission. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Sergeant Shinnick?
Yep.
Commissioner Hall?
Here.
Commissioner Rowe?
Yep.
Commissioner Stillian?
Here.
Commissioner Brienza?
Here.
All right. I assume everybody read the minutes of the last meeting. I'll
I make a
entertain.
motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. I'll open it up. We only have one public hearing tonight. I'll open that up. Number 904, no parking both sides on Megan Way. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of that? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Or anyone here to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the hearing. What are the wishes of the board?
We spoke about that earlier. I think I was the one who tabled it. I'd make a motion to put the signs up.
All right.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to put signs up, no parking both sides of Megan Way. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote.
I did talk to everybody up there. They're all in favor.
All right.
Do you want to take anything out of order?
Well, that's what I was just, you're from Dana Street?
Yeah.
All right. It's not on for a public hearing tonight. We just have it under new business. But if you want to give your name and your address, and, you know, if you want to have something to say about it, there's actually, looks like 3 different things, one being a stop sign, one being a one-way, and one being resident parking, but all for Dana Street. If you want to say something, I'll give you a minute to speak if you want.
We didn't really do all this work. The lady who did it all is not here, but I assume the stop sign is out on Williams Ave?
From what I was told, it looks like it was on Dana Street
Yeah.
at Williams Ave.
Yes, okay. And there should be, I don't know what's been said or whatever, but there should be one on Williams Ave coming down to Dana Street. Because there's a fence there on the corner that's,
Pretty high.
yeah, it's really high. You can't see what's coming around. They bombed down there. That's a one-way.
Coming down Williams.
Williams is a one-way all the way up to Empire. And they come down there when you're trying to get out. It's been a lot of near misses down there.
Well, that's why I assume the request for the stop sign.
Yeah, there should be one on Williams and Dana, both, you know, in my opinion.
Slow them down.
Yeah, slow them down.
Yeah, no decisions are going to be made tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
We're sent
Right,
down for a
no,
public
I
hearing.
understand that.
We didn't, you know, again, we just got a letter and we're just here to
No,
support it.
and I can understand the stop sign on Dana or at Williams. We're not usually inclined to put stop signs in the middle of streets, you know. So on the other side, on Williams Ave, I really couldn't see that, but, you know, as long as there was one on Dana to stop traffic before they went out there, because Williams would have the right of way.
Okay, that would help. Is there some kind of a rule about fencing, about how high the fence can be?
You could call inspectional services and they can give you all the heights.
That's the only
Either
issue
6 or
I
8
see.
feet. I'm not sure. It's either 6 or 8 feet, but I don't
Yeah,
want to
it's-
quote anything incorrect.
It's probably higher than you want. The ordinance allows a fence higher than you'd like, is my guess. I don't know, but
Yeah.
It's either 6
It's
or 8
very
feet.
hard to see, especially people in them, you know, small cars coming up. You can't see around the corner.
Right.
At all. And the other, the one way, I didn't know anything about that. I don't know which way they were going, or does anybody know? No. And the
Did you give his name and
resident only?
No, I haven't.
Sorry, can we just get your name and address?
Sure. Bruce and Deborah Wiley, 9 Dana.
All right.
can I make a motion to table 905, 906, and 907 till we get, so the commission members can get down there and take a look and see what's appropriate?
And maybe some impact from the council. I'll second
The
that.
ward council too, yeah, yeah.
All right, motion made and seconded to table numbers 905, 906, 907, all dealing with Dana Street. All those in favor?
All right.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. So we'll take a look at it and we'll see what we can do, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Jim.
You want to do D?
I'm
Oh,
gonna,
that's all. That's-
no, I'll take P.
Like this.
Counselor, what are you here for? Which,
I'm here for
Everything.
dealt with around Ingalls School and Sheridan and Adams.
And I believe you guys are as well, right?
they're just here for the bus, the Washington school bus. Do you mind if we just do the one?
Oh, fine.
All right.
Don't you?
So why don't we let?
No, we're gonna go with Council Starbird.
He's gonna get out of here.
Well, that's it.
He's got a suit on, let's,
I certainly don't want to stand in the superintendent's way. So, Officer Wright and Dr. Tatwala, Sergeant Shenick, and Bob Stillian, we spent a lot of time with the neighbors over the summer, and Irene Cowdell, the principal of Ingalls, going over the parking situation and the traffic situation at pickup and drop-off time down at Ingalls School, particularly with the Fayette Street area. As you know, Fayette Court is an extremely narrow street. It is the only way into that whole neighborhood, whether it's Orange Court, Collins Street Terrace, or folks dropping their kids off at that part of Ingalls School. Neighbors are at each other for parking, school buses, and parents just stopping in the middle of the street. Some of them, I got a report last week, getting out of the car in the middle of Fayette Court to walk their student to the school, regardless of neighbors yelling and everything else. So it was decided with everybody, I think unanimously, that we do the following. It's not going to solve all the problems, but I think it will go a long way into helping solve part of it. And I think maybe widening, as we had said, that portion.
The widening would be the best.
Collins Street Terrace would be fantastic.
If we could remind John Ford about that, to push it on public grounds.
So this all kind of goes part and parcel, 909, 910, 911, 912, to put a stop sign on Collins Street Terrace as it intersects with Orange Court. As kids are coming down, they're crossing the street from Orange Court, cars are zipping through. We saw all hours of the day. It's a raceway through
Yeah,
there.
it's a cut through.
So we all agreed that would be a good idea to place a stop sign there. A do not enter sign on Collins Street Terrace at the intersection of Fayette and Orange Court. That probably should have come as 911, but because 911, we had residents that live on Collins Street Terrace, especially the upper end. The owner and employees of Deulis Construction who get deliveries during the course of a day, that the only way to those residences and to that business is to come down Fayette Court, take that sharp, skinny left onto Collins Street Terrace to go up to those homes and those businesses. We had agreed, as did the superintendent and Mr. Cowdell, to make Collins Street a two-way from Collins Street Terrace, a two-way from Collins Street to Orange Court on non-school hours. So 7:15 to 8:15 a.m., 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. But it would not allow for folks at any time to come down Collins Street Terrace from Collins Street to bang a right onto Orange Court. So that's why we wanted that do not enter sign full-time at Orange Court and just for those school hours at the top of Collins Street Terrace as it intersects with Collins Street. And 912 was the no parking here to corner on the even side of Collins Street Terrace, 30 feet from the intersection of Collins Street. This would enable everybody coming up that hill, as well as the buses, parents picking up their kids, residents, to be able to come to the top of the hill and see right and left before turning out onto Collins Street. Right now, people are parking right up to the corner, and it's almost impossible to make that visual.
So 30 feet instead of 20 feet? Because the reason I ask is because 20 feet is a state law, and we could put the
Correct.
sign up tomorrow.
Okay.
Without the public
Correct.
hearing and all
It
that.
would-
But if you want 30 feet, that's a little more, and that
20 feet
would...
is the car length, 30 feet is more than the car length.
Okay.
And even with the signs up there, as Officer Shinnick saw, myself, and I even think you, going around the corner there was no parking at a corner, and yet there are signs and there are people parked there every time we go out there.
Correct. And the 30 feet one is on the terrace itself.
Yes.
I put that in there because getting to the top of the hill, it's got to be wide enough, especially if now we're opening it up for two-way.
So you'd like the 30
So that
feet?
there'd be some room in case. At the top of the hill, I think I sent a letter just looking for the 20 feet signs to be put up there and to put on the end of Orange Court on Fayette Street on both sides to open that intersection
So
You want
up
the other for
too.
30.
Some thought went into the 30, so let's keep it at 30.
Yeah,
So 30 on Collins Street
Street
Terrace.
Terrace.
20 on Collins Street.
on, correct.
Okay.
Any place 20 feet, we can put up a sign without,
Just put it up.
there's already a law for that.
Okay.
It's just on the terrace itself, 20 feet wouldn't have been enough,
enough.
it looked
Yeah, yeah.
like.
And with or without a sign, 20 feet from an intersection, you cannot park in the state of Massachusetts. So that's a state law.
You need to teach that in driving school.
They should.
Or even adult ed.
Can I make a motion to set down 909, 910, 911, and 912 for a
I'll
public
second
hearing?
Motion made and seconded to put down 909, 910, 911, and 912 for a public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. So that'll be on for next month.
I have two other issues.
Yep, we know.
With the other two. Oh, Yep.
Uh, So that was a new business with the stop sign on Collins Street as it comes on Chestnut. Was that on here? Oh, there we go, 894. Stop sign, Fayette at intersection of Collins. I've had a number of complaints from residents who say cars coming up
The hill?
Collins Street up the hill from Adam Street Extension. There's a stop sign for folks coming from Chestnut down Fayette Street, but there's no way to see what's coming up that hill until they're in the middle of it. So they've asked that a stop sign be placed on Fayette Street coming up the hill from Adam Street Extension at the intersection of Collins.
That has actually been tabled for a month or two. I'll entertain a motion to take it off the table if someone wants to.
Well, what are you doing in wintertime and you can't get up the hill? Stop at the stop sign and you can't.
That's definitely a concern.
Do we want to leave it for next month and take a look, go out down there and take a look?
We can do that. All right, we'll leave that one on the table.
We should try to all go by, take a look at it and see
I
what's...
know.
Yeah,
I go up it all the time.
join you. I don't come from that direction myself. I come down Collins Street a lot, turning left to right and coming up from Adam Street Extension, but it's not too often that I'm coming.
I know I did ask for a stop bar to be painted on Collins Street as you're coming in from Chestnut. That was one of the issues that I did see, even though the stop sign was there, it had been repaved and there wasn't a stop bar on the ground, so,
Okay.
I mean, that may help things too.
But you could reverse them one way too on Collins to go the other way to Chestnut. So you come off of Chestnut, take a right, it's a one way to John's Bakery. If you reverse it the other way, then you have the flow going the other
We should all
way.
take a look at the area.
Yeah.
The real problem there is the coming from Chestnut. If you're coming down Collins, there's a fence there, there's not even a house on it.
That's what I'm saying. If we
So you've
revert-
got a clear shot of what's coming up the hill. It's when you're coming the other way.
The other way.
Chestnut that there's a
If
problem.
we reverse it, then you won't have that problem, right?
But that's gonna impact the neighborhood and getting
Yeah,
around
if you
there,
go from Collins Street
because you can't get in.
down to the
Any other
floor
way.
by the
Yeah.
body shops there, trying to get to it, you'd have to go all the way down to Adam Street Extension and come up.
Or you come up
around.
Logan or come up Logan, then come up Fayette.
That's radical, changing the direction of the street. I think so.
I'm just throwing it out there. that's all.
All right, we'll take a peek at it.
I
just
just
threw it
down
out
there, we
there.
can all take a look at the area, see what we can do.
And the last, so we're gonna table that?
That's been tabled.
It's on the table.
We're not gonna take it off.
We're not gonna take it off, we're gonna look at it.
And my last concern, and this goes back to when Councilor Trahan was in office, and he was also in favor of this, is a four-way stop at the intersection of Adams and Sheridan. And I've gone down there myself, and I almost got broadsided once coming down Adams Street from a truck shooting straight across Sheridan and just didn't stop. And if I wasn't aware myself, I may not have even, been kind of leery of it. If you go up there, I think 2 houses have had their fences crashed into at that intersection. And it's something that the neighbors have expressed concerns over since I came in January.
I'll make a motion to take this one off the table.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, to take 879 off the table to establish a four-way stop at the intersection of Adams and Sheridan.
I'll also make a motion to set down a public hearing.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made and seconded to sit down for a public hearing, that four-way stop at the intersection of Adams and Sheridan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It'll be sit down for a public hearing.
And I will allow you no more tonight.
Is Chase Road yours?
It could be.
No. A resident sent me an email about speed limit signs there, and then I saw this on the agenda, but
That's not your area? That's fine.
that's what.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll jump to P for the superintendent and Officer Wright. I think that's the only one you got, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Again, my name's Officer Wright. We're looking to have the yellow line for bus stop be extended on Lawson Street in front of Washington School. I don't know if you may need signs for maybe because they get out at 1:45. That seems to be the biggest issue. There's 10 buses and then vans also that are picking up. I actually have some Google Earth maps that I printed up, so if you want to take a look. I drew a little line of what we would be looking for.
The side of the St. George parking lot, that street really, there's nothing,
Correct. I went down there and measured it today, and from the end of the yellow curbing now up to the
gate of St. George.
the first gate is like an additional 90 feet of space.
They actually have enough buses that would probably go past that first gate. So
And continue on up?
Probably continue on. If we were to line them all up, all the buses and all the vans, I'm not so sure that going up to the next gate would be enough, but I mean, realistically, I think if that was even possible to go up to that gate, I think we would make that work. Right now, that.
And again, if it doesn't, we could go after the gate, but we cannot block anybody's gate. I don't believe the church ever uses that,
Right.
except for festivals and certain functions they have.
I mean, imagine even if you had a break in the line in
Yeah.
front of each gate, you know what I mean? Gate entrance or exit. But other than that part of the street in between would alleviate so much. I had to go down there a few times, and you have people that are guessing that are behind the buses, we have buses that are parked and then buses that are double parked.
So for right now, up to the gate, we'll see how it works, or do you want more?
If we could go beyond to the next gate, that would be, or at
Just
least.
stick
or-
with-
or
I do know-
90 feet past the.
There is parking for Marion Gardens there too, so I
There's a
mean,
lot of cars that do parking there.
yeah.
Why don't we try the 90 and see how it works? If not, we can always increase it.
I'm asking for whatever you'll increase it to at this
Well, the
point.
thing is, I don't want too much disruption of the
Right,
neighborhood. There is that street is, I've been going and looking at it, it's constantly.
it's constant.
Yeah, so just so you're aware of how we work, so we'll create an ordinance, and then the ordinance comes first, and then the lines so that people can understand the ordinance comes after. The lines, I can paint lines anywhere, but without an ordinance to back them up,
Right.
they don't really mean much.
And you can put up the signs.
Correct. So the process is we'll create the ordinance, you can either do this or not do this, and then I'll get out there and paint lines, put up signs to reflect.
I mean,
Can we put it for a public,
well, I was just thinking too, we could also probably do time-wise.
put an emergency?
That way, you know, they'd
That's what I
still,
mean, for time,
there'd
certain
be, still be parking for Marion Gardens at, say, like at night, if it wasn't completely painted, the yellow curbing, painted all the way down, couldn't you do
Again,
it
you
for
could paint the
time?
yellow curb and just put certain hours on it, so the bus stop
And
is
still-
there.
Right.
Did we do that on Commercial Street?
Commercial Street's the
That's
same
powered out,
thing.
right?
Yes.
Is it-
Yeah,
Yep.
We
Yeah,
could do
school,
something for
school,
hours
same
so they could park it,
thing. Pick up and,
parking allowed overnight, because you could even park in front of the school. Well, they gotta be out by 7 in the morning, though,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah,
And
it's-
people aren't gonna get,
Typically during the day, if I've gone there at, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, there's maybe one car on the street. For the most part, they're gone on that side. So I imagine that everyone's gone in the morning. So at 7 o'clock seems like that would be reasonable. It's a 7:45 start, so buses are probably getting there 7:20. They're about 7:15 maybe for breakfast. And then it's a 1:45 dismissal. So I imagine.
I would
1
actually
o'clock.
say early, because the problem is, if you have 7 o'clock, if somebody is violating that, by the time you get there to enforce it at 7 o'clock, it's gonna cause a problem for the schools, even if you did it at 6:30 or something. That way the night person could go by there at 6:30, if cars are there, they could enforce it. It's kinda early for somebody to have to get up, but there's plenty of parking on that street, just a few spots we are taking. But the only problem is if you were gonna enforce that, and you're having a problem, we'd only be able to enforce it from 7 to 7:20 for the buses.
correct.
We can enforce it after that, but it's
Right.
not gonna help your buses as much,
Right, getting in.
you know. I'll make the motion, can we put an emergency on it, and then we can start
We can.
working on it now?
Yep.
I'll second that.
And we're just going to the first driveway right now?
Gate right now.
Up to
And again,
or-
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And technically, you can't block a curb cut, so cars shouldn't be parking in that gate anyhow.
No, right,
So you actually have quite a distance there.
okay,
Can we hang on to the map so
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
Cheryl
yeah.
knows what we're talking about?
And what we're doing is putting an emergency on it, so they can start working on
So
the
I know what
painting of
we're
the
talking
lines
I
and
was messing around
these
with
signs
this.
now.
This is my drawing, the yellow line.
Okay.
All right, and do we want to put a time frame on it or no?
So the current one, actually,
6 to 6:30, I'd say, between,
so it only goes up
parking
to
is
about
allowed between, what, 5 and,
right around here.
what times
That's
is
what
the
it is.
last things at the
Okay.
school? Is there any after-school programs there?
From what I understand, that 1:45, when the buses are there for dismissal, is the last you're gonna see any, like, major traffic as far as buses and vans.
So
anything
3
like that.
o'clock?
It's gonna be done.
So parking's
3
allowed
o'clock.
from
3
3
o'clock would be fine.
to 6 in the morning or 6:30? What do you feel is best?
6:30 should be safer.
Yep.
So it'd be
We
one
can
to,
always change it.
so it'd be 1 to 3 in the afternoon? And then what time in the morning? 6:30 to,
I would say parking would be allowed between 3 PM and 6 AM.
That works, yeah.
and not during the rest of the day?
Yeah.
Like from
Well,
6:30 to
unless you
3?
put on the sign, bus parking only between 6:30
6:30
AM.
Yeah.
and
to
3?
Right.
3, yeah.
Which is what we put on the signs at Commercial Street.
Yeah.
It only seems like the.
All right, so it'd be 6:30 AM to 3 PM. Is that
No.
right?
that'd be the window for the buses.
For the buses. All right, that's your motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Andy seconded it.
I second it,
All
yeah.
right, motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Have we resolved all your issues on commercial and the side there? Were you looking for some more things there?
There are more signs up. I saw a half a dozen signs up there today.
Signs went up, I haven't, I guess, if the curb hasn't been painted, can we get that painted as well, to kind of really,
You gotta show me the extents and I'll have it
If you
painted
could give him a little drawing
the
like
week,
that
week of the 4th.
to Cheryl.
all right, I'll take a look at that tomorrow and also print that out for you, get that to you.
Excellent.
And again, DPW did a great job with the signs up, and we appreciate it.
Only took 8 months. Good things take time. Do you want to take these or?
No, keep them.
Okay, okay.
Congratulations on the job.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So far, so good.
We haven't hit the winter yet.
Oh, I know, the honey was still honey.
You, me, and Ned will be talking,
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Great.
and Andy, actually.
Thanks for coming in.
All right,
Thank you.
They don't like us?
Good night.
what about us?
One is 24/7 until the storm ends.
All right, I'll go back to, we'll start at the top. D, number 908, one-way on Chase Road. Do we have any,
We have a letter from Courtney Marcos, who lives at 21 Chase Road. She writes, "Dear Traffic Commission, the residents of Fernwood Ave, Chase Road, and Northrop Terrace request the opportunity to meet with the Traffic Commission to discuss how to make the streets in our neighborhood safer for residents as well as for drivers. These past few years, we have seen drivers become more reckless, driving faster and driving distracted by devices, which has resulted in more car accidents, bicycle accidents, and property damage on our streets. We would like to discuss ways to increase safety, such as lower speed limits, more or better signage, as well as making Chase Road a one-way street. In just this week alone, there have been 3 car accidents. This needs to change and become a priority for the city. We need to make sure that our children, our elderly, and family pets are safe. We look forward to the opportunity to come and speak with you. Thank you in advance for your time." And this is dated July 28th.
We could actually put up signs for a lower speed limit without doing anything.
yeah, the 25 signs could go up, because I don't think there's any signs on there right now.
And that could actually happen right away, which,
Yep.
and that would give better signage, because if you're putting up the 25s, there'll be new signs. DPW has sparkling, brand-new signs.
I think one-way on Chase Road is
It can't
a
happen.
pretty radical change that will have widespread impacts
On Maple. and-
everywhere, you know,
Yeah.
that's, so I'm not really keen on that
No,
idea, but
neither
I
am
can
I.
certainly put up some signs down there.
Yeah, signage would be,
Speed bumps.
can't put a speed bump, but signs would be, and it would work immediately. We could get relief to the neighborhood very quick. The changing the direction, it will just create such a traffic pattern that we really don't want to, and that could actually turn into road rage and more problems, people, it could actually be a more dangerous situation.
I'll entertain a motion to
25 miles.
Well, we can
Deny
send a
it,
letter to
or-
the DPW, do we need to send a letter to Cheryl? Can you just take care of that? Send
Well,
us
as
a letter?
far as the speed limit signs, you want, what you want to do about the one-way part? We could just deny
Table
it,
it?
or we could,
Uh,
I mean, tabling it just puts it off to another
Actually,
day.
I
or-
can't see changing,
I'll make a motion to deny
I'll
908.
second that.
All in favor?
All right, motion made and seconded to deny
Aye.
number 908, one-way on Chase Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
And let me add to that I'm not against safe roads, but that's a little too radical.
Yeah, it could make it more dangerous, I think.
But we will get some signs up down there to make it safer.
Number 913, amend the existing ordinance from no parking on both sides on Shillington Ave to no parking both sides from the intersection of Linwood Street to number 15 Shillington Ave.
Is there a story behind this one?
I was approached by Counselor Brian Field. When you go up and you go around the bend, it's very tight, and there shouldn't be any parking on either side. But then it opens up a little bit towards the other end, once you get up to number 15. The woman in there is handicapped. She was originally looking for a handicap spot across from her house. And then when I went up there to talk to her, she said there's other neighbors that also park on that side. There was one resident, she said, that was against it originally, and that resident has moved or died or...
Have we talked to the ward
something.
counselor or
It's got-
anything?
Well, I talked to Counselor Field.
But again,
he
that's
was the
an
only-
actual wards counselor.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should get some correspondence from them before we do something.
We could do that too. We could table it until we talk to...
Or do you think that's something we should just do, Andy, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking table this till we get input from the ward counselor.
Motion
I'll
made,
second that.
seconded to table number 913 for some more information from the ward counselor. All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? That's a vote. J, number 914, establish resident-only parking on Bachelor Street. Do we have anything on that?
Is that the whole street?
9,
The what?
The whole street, because you get businesses on that street.
That's,
We never would put the signs up in front of the businesses, and in front of the business, we would not enforce.
You get a dentist down the corner there.
Yeah, any place like we put resident parking, if there's a business, we do not put the signs.
Do not
We
in front of the-
enforce Only right in front of that business.
the business.
So it could, if a business has quite a few cars, it could negatively affect the business.
So this is a letter that was signed by several residents of Bachelor Street. 2 pages. But it was sent by S. Oak, A-U-K, at 15 Bachelor Street, to whom this letter may concern. The residents of Bachelor Street in Lynn, Massachusetts, alongside myself, intend to propose a petition in which certifies that only residents of this street are allowed to park on Bachelor Street. It is my concern that there are an immense amount of people who do not live on this street but insist in parking in this designated area for multiple days and even weeks. Commercial and private vehicles are intended for this petition is to request and ensure residential parking to establish on Bachelor Street and to receive a permit parking as well.
Again, any commercial vehicles would not be able to be on that street 24/7. Right now, they cannot be on the street between 10 o'clock at night and 6 in the morning. So if the problem is there's commercial vehicles on the street, or taxis, buses, we could tag them at night, that would alleviate the problem also.
I didn't speak with this gentleman. This was left on my desk while I was on vacation.
Do we
so-
have anything from the council on this one? I'm almost torn with the same problem. Do we let some input from the council?
I did forward it up to
Oh, okay, it did go up to Terry?
Terry. I did, when I get things like this, I send them up to her for the
Which
ward
one is-
counselor. It's one.
One.
It's one.
I'm fine doing something, I'm fine doing the council, I'm fine either way.
I think we should seek the input of the ward counselor.
I'll second that.
all right. Motion made
So-
and seconded to table that for more information from the ward counselor, correct?
Yes.
Second.
All right.
And then, so, I mean, does and I guess along with that, you know, what he sees as positive benefits of the resident-only parking, but it's also a giant hassle from the visitor's standpoint.
And again, I don't know-
Annual renewing permits and,
I don't know if the people signing that
Are aware of
There's a
that.
corner house that is not a Bachelor address and they're parking on Bachelor, because somebody signing that petition, if they're actually another street, they cannot park on Bachelor. If, it has to be the address that they're,
These
driveways
are
on.
all
They're
Bachelor
all
Street
Bachelor.
Yeah.
addresses.
Yeah,
that
that's-
are signed.
yeah.
Auburn.
I can call the gentleman, but I can also send a letter to Council Lozey if
I
you'd
think
like.
the council
I
input.
think just, send a letter to the counselor and we'll do that. All right, so motion made to table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That'll be tabled for,
And I'm sending a letter also to the ward councilor for Shillington. Am I correct?
correct.
Okay.
And can we take 15, 16, 17, 18 together?
You can, yeah.
Which one? 15, 16, 17, 18, they're all yours, so.
Basically, we're getting some complaints from, some's from the DPW's complaining about some areas where people are parking. There's some trucks down by the
Back
waste
there.
company there that they're constantly parking and stuff. We're just looking to put the no overnight to get them to move out of that situation. It's the same thing on Alley. We're having a lot of problems down on Alley Street with the businesses down there just leaving vehicles on the streets 24/7. It's gonna clean up the streets, so I'm just looking for all those streets to be no parking from 10 PM to 6.
It's overnight parking, basically.
916 is Harding Street, I imagine?
Harding
Harding?
Street, Harding,
Yeah, that's that.
H-A-R-D-I-N-G.
They're parking next to the, what used to be the auction, I guess, and that's causing some havoc too.
But it's Harding.
Harding, right, I-N-G.
Oh, is the spelling wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah, it's Harding.
Harding and Salem, but
Harding
not
Street.
Harding.
Okay. H-A-R-D-I-N-G.
Yeah.
That's a Hardy mistake.
That's the car wash street, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. They're all back there, Harding, Caroline, and Circle Ave.
I'll make a motion to set down 9, 15, 16, 17, and 18 for public hearing.
I'll second that.
And that's with the Harding put in there?
Yes, with
Yeah,
Hardy.
yeah.
Harding, yeah.
Very good catch, Andy.
Friendly edit.
DPW is on their
I
toes.
tried looking
All
it
right.
up, I couldn't find it.
Motion made and seconded to put those down for a public hearing next month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
I'm not sure you'll find Heidi either. Is that on the map?
We're getting close.
Number 919 Garfield Ave, resident requesting signage for speeding motorists, which,
That's up behind.
that's, again, you could just put signs up.
Make a motion to table 919 with the understanding that DPW will put up signs without an ordinance.
Or do we
Table it,
even
just
need to
get rid of
table it, or just
Get rid of it.
get rid of it?
Get rid of it.
Accept it for the file?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept for the file 919, and DPW will put up a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit sign.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to accept for the file, and the DPW will take care of the signage for 25 miles per hour. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's a vote. Other than that, it's old business, unless someone wants to take something off the table to address it.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote.